Please be seated. The record will show the presence of the jury, the defendant, and all counsel. Mr. Martinez, you may continue with cross-examination.
Ma'am, we were talking about the telephone and that there were messages on there, and then also on the MySpace email that there were messages on there, correct? Do you remember that?
Travis's phone in MySpace, yes.
And the messages could be characterized as flirtatious, right?
Flirtatious and sexual.
And you really had no problem with that, though, did you?
What do you mean?
Well, let's go ahead and take a look at another exhibit. I move for the admission of Exhibit 480.
Any objection?
I'm sorry, what number?
480.
480, no objection.
480 is admitted.
Let's take a look at this.
I only have a few more questions. Where I want to go next is,
Yeah, you still decided to break up with it, right?
Not for that reason.
Well, isn't that what you told us before the break, that that was the reason that you broke up with him, because of these text messages?
No, it's because he was sleeping with a bunch of people.
You believe that he was sleeping with a lot of people, right?
Yes.
Do you remember telling us before the break that it was this text message, or during direct examination, that it was the text messages that were the reason for the breakup?
Right.
You did say that, though, right?
Yes.
I don't have, okay. You and Mr. Alexander went to Sedona and to the Grand Canyon with Desiree Freeman and Dan Freeman, correct?
Yes.
Take a look at Exhibit 481. See if you recognize the people there and the occasion.
Yes, I do. I don't see a date, but I recognize it.
But you're in the photograph, correct?
Yes.
And you recognize the other people, correct?
Yes.
And it's a trip that you took. The picture is a photograph taken during the trip to Sedona, correct?
Correct.
When was it? Generally speaking, when did you go to Sedona?
I believe it was April 2007.
And this is a true and accurate depiction of the four of you on this trip to Sedona, correct?
Correct.
I move for the admission of 481.
No objection.
481 is admitted.
This is a photograph that was taken in Sedona, correct?
Yes.
And it shows your height relative to Mr. Alexander, correct?
Yes.
You're approximately the same height as he is, correct?
He's 3 inches taller.
Well, this shows it right here, correct?
Yes.
How tall you are, correct?
Foundation, we don't know where they're standing or shoes they're wearing.
Sustained.
Ma'am, this shows you on that particular day with Mr. Alexander, correct?
Yes.
You have no reason to believe that that you were standing on a rock and he wasn't, right?
Not that I recall, no.
And with regard to Mr. Freeman, do you have a reason to believe that he was standing on a rock?
No.
And with regard to Desiree Freeman, any reason to believe or to think that she was standing on a rock?
No.
That shows the relative heights, correct?
Yes.
Ma'am, one of the things that we know about Mr. Alexander was how his ambience was in a room, correct?
Yes.
Let me show you another exhibit. I move for the admission of Exhibit 482.
Any objection?
None that we haven't previously lodged, Judge.
482 is submitted.
Yes, and that's the other thing. When you ask me if I was angry or outraged, I'm more angry and outraged that his life was taken and that he had so much potential, that he had so many things and projects that he was working on that some will get completed and some will never get completed. He was a light, and he had so many. He brightened a room when he walked in. He literally brightened the room. Like you could just tell when Travis was, whether you were no matter what direction you were looking at, you could tell when Travis showed up, because the laughter got louder, and he's going to see.
And he was a great guy, it appears, to everybody that seemed to come in contact with him, correct?
Yes, it appears.
And nowhere during this conversation that you may have had with people of 48 hours did you mention this issue of him masturbating to pictures.
Oh, definitely not.
So the answer is no, you didn't, correct?
That's correct.
And it wasn't like he didn't do good things for you. He actually did a lot of, or some things that were very nice, didn't he?
Yes, wonderful things.
Let's have you, or listen to you tell us about one of those occasions. I move for the admission of Exhibit 483.
No objection.
483 is admitted.
I just personally, I can't see any motive for myself to ever want to do this or inflict this kind of thing on Travis, someone who's been so generous, someone who's been so kind, and someone who has opened up his home, opened up his refrigerator on many times when I didn't have enough money to go to the grocery store and fill up my own fridge. You know, there were just so many things that he did, the little things. I came home from the airport once, and he let me park my car in his garage so that it was safe while I was gone, and I showed up to get my car, and there was this bag on the hood that said Cinnabon, and he knew that I liked Cinnabon, and I remember calling him before I flew out. I was flying out of Salt Lake, and in the Phoenix airport there's a Cinnabon stand, and I always get one before I go on my flight, and I remember lamenting a little bit, saying Cinnabon's going to be closed when I get home because it's going to be late. And so he went out to the mall and got me Cinnabon so that I'd be able to have that when I got home. It's just little things that he did like that.
For everything that he had done to you, right?
Yes.
Let's take a look at an exhibit. Take a look at exhibit number 484. Let's see if you're familiar with these text messages.
Yes, I recognize them.
And you were the person that sent them, correct?
Yes, this wasn't before I moved, this was after.
Right, and what date is indicated on there?
April 18th, 2008.
Move for the admission of exhibit 484.
Objection.
Did you say no objection?
No objection.
Wait, or admit it?
This was after you had moved, correct?
Yes,
This was after you were in Wairika, correct?
yes,
This was when you were in Wairika doing your day-to-day activities, whatever they may be, correct?
correct.
When you were not seeing Mr. Alexander on a daily basis, correct?
Yes,
This is after you had broken up with him, right?
yes,
This was during a time when, according to you, the fog had lifted, right?
yes,
And this is after the time, after you claim that there has been some physical violence, you wrote this, right?
that's right.
And we agree that the time is 7 hours ahead, correct?
Yes,
And so it's on April 18th that you write this, and you say, Travis, I thank you for being such an amazing friend. You are a rock, a light, and an inspiration. I love you dearly. You were still in love with him, weren't you?
I wouldn't say in love, but I loved him very much.
So when you say you love him dearly, that doesn't mean that you have any physical attraction to him. You just love him like a friend, correct?
That's not true.
Well, when you say you love him dearly, is that the same as saying that the way you love Matt McCartney, or is this a little bit different?
It's similar, but there was no longer a sexual attraction with Matt McCartney.
But there was this sexual attraction with Mr. Alexander, correct?
Correct.
And you indicate that you appreciate all of the ways you've gone out of your way for me, correct? You indicate that, right?
Yes,
And then you say, thank you, thank you, thank you, right?
yes,
This is not in line with what you've been, with the person that you've been talking to us about, is it?
yeah, it is. It's very consistent with how he was.
Well, you've been telling us before that he was mean. Do you remember telling us that?
Yes, he was also that.
And you've been telling us that in addition to being mean, he was somebody who physically abused you, right?
Yes, he did.
And that he would raise his voice to you, right?
Yes, he did.
Yet, once you're free of him, and after the fog has lifted, you're thanking him and telling him what an inspiration he is, right?
Yes,
That sort of, the way that is presented, That doesn't seem to correspond, does it?
Objection, argumentative.
Sustained.
You've given us two versions, correct?
Of what?
Of Mr. Alexander.
Objection, argumentative.
Overruled.
I think I've given more than two versions.
Well, you've given us one where we've just discussed about him being physically abusive and mean and loud to you, correct?
Yes.
And in fact, during the trial, you even referenced that he used to grill you, right?
Yes.
And yet, the writings that we have here don't support that, specifically exhibit number 484, now that you're away, doesn't support what you've been telling us, does it?
Objection, argumentative.
Rephrase.
This is at odds with what you're telling us
Objection,
before
argumentative.
as to Mr. Alexander, right?
May answer.
At odds with what?
With Mr. Alexander's portrayal that you wanted us to believe during direct examination.
No, I believe I said during direct examination that he did many wonderful things and that he had amazing sides to him.
But you don't ever mention in any of these text messages, for example, this one right here, all you can do is gush on him, over him and thank him, right?
Yes, he flourished on compliments.
Is that yes?
I said yes.
When you say that he flourished on compliments, it appears that you're saying that you're only doing it in an insincere fashion because you want to shower them on him just because he wants them.
At times they were a little insincere and that they were somewhat exaggerated, but he was a wonderful person
Well,
many times.
What you're saying here, though, is just this particular exhibit, number 484, when you're saying, or you're gushing, whatever the term you want to use on this, it just appears that, from what you tell us, that that's not true, right?
Objection, argumentative.
Rephrase.
Ma'am, when you say that you were sending these because Mr. Alexander liked them, that's what you said, right?
No, I said he flourished with compliments.
All right, use the word he flourished on compliments, right?
Yes.
And if he flourished on compliments, the way it sounds is that you were not sincere about the compliment.
Well, I believe he was amazing. He was a rock to me. He was a light and an inspiration at one time. I did love him dearly, I still do. And he did go out of his way for me, and I wanted to express my gratitude.
So with regard to this particular love, is that how you believe love should be shown like it was on the evening of June 4th of 2008?
Objection, argumentative. Badgering.
Sustained.
Well, ma'am, here, you've indicated that all of this is true. So is this one of the ones that was sincere or not?
I believe I was being sincere in this one.
So this one, you are telling the truth.
Yes.
As part of what happened after you killed Mr. Alexander, there was a memorial service, right?
Yes.
And you attended it, right?
Yes.
The memorial service was in Mesa, Arizona, correct?
Correct.
And what time of the day was it?
I don't remember.
Was it in the morning or the afternoon?
I don't remember. It was daytime. I have no memory of that part.
And many people attended, right?
Yes.
One of the people that attended was Mimi, correct?
Yes.
You actually went up to Mimi, correct?
Yes, I did.
So even though that you say that you're shy, you actually were the person that approached her, right?
Yes.
And you talked to her about Mr. Alexander, correct?
Briefly, yes.
So that is a yes, correct?
Yes.
And it was during this conversation that you say that that's when you first learned that he was going to Cancun with her, right?
I can't remember because another woman had told me right before. She didn't say her name, but I assumed it was probably Mimi Hall. So I don't remember if Cancun was discussed.
Did you speak with Mimi Hall about her going to Cancun with Mr. Alexander?
I don't remember if Cancun was discussed.
But you could have discussed it, right?
Could have, but it was very short, and I don't think Cancun came up, but it might have. I don't remember that.
But it was at this memorial, whether it was from Miss Hall or somebody else, that you, according to you, first learned about him going to Cancun with somebody else, right?
Yes, well, I assumed.
Is that yes?
I assumed. I didn't
I actually learned it from Detective Flores, but I assumed because of the way a woman named Brenda told me.
So what you're telling us is that at the memorial service, do you know the date that that was?
I think it was June 15th.
At the memorial service, you did not learn that he went to Cancun with Mimi Hall.
Objection to negative compound question.
I don't remember. I think I assumed it, but I got like solid confirmation from Detective Flores.
So you assumed it at the time that you met Miss Hall then?
Trying to think. I might have spoken to Miss Hall before Brenda. I don't remember when Brenda came up to me.
So what I'm asking though is, did you or did you not learn that Mr. Alexander was going to Cancun with Mimi Hall at this memorial service?
Hello, Shecky. Good to see you. Sending positive vibes. It has been a while since I've seen you around, so shout out to you. Thank you for dropping by. We've been reviewing the OJ trial and the Jodi Arias trial and commenting on it recently. All right. Now we will continue.
Service.
I don't know if I definitively knew it, but I was pretty sure that she was the one.
And why do you say that you were pretty sure? Is it because of a conversation that you had with Miss Hall?
Because of a conversation I had with Brenda.
And based on the conversation with Brenda, you believe that that's when you learned about Mr. Alexander going to Cancun with Mimi Hall, correct?
Yes.
You and he had discussed him going to Cancun before, right?
Yes.
And you were not, he didn't ask you to go, right?
What was that?
He did not ask you to go, correct?
That's correct.
But you knew he was going with someone, didn't you?
Yes. Well, the trip allows for a second person on the ticket, so I assumed.
You knew he was going with somebody, right?
Yes.
And you knew he was going with somebody back on June 2nd of 2008, right?
Yes, I assumed it was a babysitter.
Well, I'm not asking you who you assumed it with. Did you know back on that date that he was going to go with somebody?
Yes.
And back on May 28th of 2008, you also knew that he was going to Cancun, right?
Yes.
And you knew that he was going to Cancun with somebody else, right?
Yes.
And this was about the time, because of the telephone call of May 10th, that he was still talking to you about sex, right?
Yes.
And even though he was talking to you about sex, he was actually, you knew, going to go to Cancun with somebody else, right?
Yes.
Let me show you an exhibit. And his going to Cancun with somebody else did not upset you, correct?
No.
And his going to Cancun and not inviting you did not upset you, right?
No.
Take a look at Exhibit 485 and see if you recognize this.
Yes.
This is actually a writing by you, correct?
That's correct.
And it was submitted at the time of the memorial service, right?
Yes.
And how did it work? There was a page there that you signed? How did it work?
There was a photo album, sort of in a scrapbook, how I remember it, with a lot of blank paper around the different photos so that people could leave comments.
You actually brought the photograph that's attached to this, right?
I think it was already put together, but I emailed it to the person putting it together because that's one of my photos.
So this is one of your photographs, though, correct?
Yes.
And how it got there, maybe that you sent it to somebody and then they put it in the book, correct?
I believe so.
And then you actually signed it, though, right?
I didn't sign it. I just wrote in it. I didn't want to leave my name.
In other words, this is your writing, correct?
Yes.
I move for the admission of Exhibit 485.
No objection.
485 is admitted.
Take a look at Exhibit 485. It says, Travis, you're beautiful on the inside and out, doesn't it?
Yes.
Isn't that kind of a lie based on what you've told us here in court today?
Objection, argumentative.
Sustained, rephrased.
That's not true based on what you told us here in court, right?
Objection, argumentative.
Overruled.
I believed that he had inner beauty, yes. So it is true.
So you think somebody who masturbates to pictures of little boys is beautiful on the inside, right?
I don't think that aspect of him is beautiful at all. I think it's sickening.
Well, I'm asking you, you did write beautiful on the inside, and yet you knew, according to you, that he had this issue, right?
Yes.
And so if you write that, you've indicated that it was a problem for you, right?
It was.
And you indicated that you'd even obtain a pamphlet, correct, to give to him?
Yes, too.
And you also indicated that you believed that he needed help, right?
He did need help.
Right, and you've indicated that to us on direct examination, a couple of times at least, right?
That's right.
But yet here you're right that he's beautiful on the inside, knowing all of that.
Yes, he hated those parts of himself.
Pardon?
He hated those parts of himself. It's not who he wanted to be.
Whether he wanted to be it or not, somebody who has those issues, you still think is beautiful on the inside, and that's why you wrote it.
I believed that he could get better.
I'm not asking you if you believe that he could get better, ma'am. I'm asking you whether or not somebody is beautiful on the inside if they have the problem that you have told us about.
Objection, ask and answer this about the third time.
Overruled.
What was the question?
Mike, could you read it back for her, please?
I'm not asking if you believe if he could get better, ma'am. I'm asking you whether or not beautiful on the inside is I'm sorry. I'm asking you whether or not somebody has beautiful on the inside, if it had that problem you told us about.
I believed that he had aspects of himself that were beautiful and some that were ugly, just like I do.
So what you're saying is this statement here that he was beautiful on the inside is a qualified statement.
I don't know what you mean by qualified.
Well, it doesn't tell the whole truth. It just tells parts of the truth.
Of course, this is a memorial book.
Pardon?
Of course, this is a memorial book.
You didn't have to write it in that memorial book, right?
I didn't have to.
And you didn't have to go to the memorial service, right?
That's right.
One of the things that you told us was that, well, you and Mr. Alexander had an agreement, right?
Yes.
And this agreement, according to you, was that even if the memorial service or the funeral was in Antarctica, the two of you would attend each other's funeral, depending on who outlived the other, right?
He said he would come to mine even if it was in Antarctica.
Ma'am, I'm asking you whether or not you and he, or whether or not you told us previously that you and he had an agreement to attend each other's funeral depending on who died first.
It wasn't quite like that.
Well, didn't you tell us that on direct examination, that that was part of the reason that you went, because you guys had this understanding?
I didn't go to his funeral. I tried to go and I didn't make it.
The memorial service.
That wasn't part of the agreement.
Well, but you did mention that you believed that he would have done the same thing for you, right?
Yes.
But in terms of this attending the memorial service, if the situation were reversed, do you think that he still should have gone to your memorial service if he had killed you?
Objection, argumentative, calls for speculation.
Sustained.
What was the agreement, or what was your understanding of the agreement then?
I told him one time that I admired his speaking skills, and then if I ever passed away, if he would, I would like it if he gave a eulogy at my funeral, because I knew that he would edify me in a good way.
How about with him? If he passed away before you, what was the agreement?
It wasn't discussed, I don't think.
Oh, so you didn't have any understanding whatsoever with regard to whether or not you would attend his memorial service?
It was more about my funeral.
Well, do you remember telling us something different on direct examination?
I don't remember.
Do you remember on direct examination telling us that you felt compelled to go because of this agreement that the two of you had?
That's why I felt compelled to go.
Right. Because you believed there was an agreement, right?
Because he would have gone to mine.
And you believe that that was sort of an unwritten agreement between the two of you. That's how you portrayed it to us on direct examination, right?
The eulogy part was sort of an unwritten agreement.
I'm talking about just actually going. I'm not talking about the eulogy. Isn't it true that in direct examination, the way you portrayed it to us was that the reason that you went was because you and he had talked about it, and that you felt compelled to go based on those conversations?
Yes.
And those conversations included going to Antarctica, if that were the case, right?
He said he would.
And that's how much the commitment, that's how strong the commitment was to attend each other's memorial services, right?
I don't recall making a commitment to attend his services, but this is the reason I felt compelled to go.
Because of the conversation you had with him, right?
Yes.
No one knew about this conversation that you had with him, right?
No, it was in his office, just the two of us.
Right, so it was just you and him, right?
Yes.
And so if nobody knew about it, you really didn't have to go. And nobody would have been the wiser, right?
That's right.
But you made the choice to go, right?
Yes, I did.
You also write, you always told me that I never stopped believing in you, and I know that you always believed in me, right? That's what it says, right?
Yes.
You always believed in him, right?
Yes, I did.
Even though, according to you, he would get this mean look on his face, and he would come charging after you down the hallway, you still believed in him, right?
Yes, that wasn't who he wanted to be.
I'm not asking you if that's what he wanted to be. Did I ask you that, ma'am?
No.
I'm asking you whether or not you still believed in him if he, for example, according to you, threw you down and choked you. You still believed in him, right?
I believed in his potential still, yes.
So the answer is yes, right?
Yes.
And even though he may have been on the couch kissing with some girl in August of 2007, you still believed in him, right?
Yes, I wasn't his girlfriend.
Pardon?
I wasn't his girlfriend. So yeah, of course, I still believed in him.
You were his girlfriend in August of 2007?
I was not. I wasn't.
So you still believed in him even though he was kissing on some girl, and you still believed he was courting you at that time. You still believed in him.
Well, it cheapened his efforts.
I understand that it may have cheapened.
I still believed in his potential of who he wanted to become.
So it cheapened his efforts, right?
Certainly.
And if it cheapened his efforts, then perhaps he wasn't believing in you as much as you indicate in this card or this writing, correct?
Objection calls for speculation as to what Mr. Alexander believed.
It's the other way around.
Overruled.
I think we're talking about different aspects of what we believed about each other.
Well, you say that you never stopped believing in him, right?
Yes.
And you never stopped believing him irrespective of what you told us the issues were, right?
That's right.
And these issues that according to you, he wasn't getting any help for, right?
I don't know if he
Well,
was or not. I
well-
don't believe he was. He said he would. I don't believe he did.
Right, so you know that he's not getting, according to you, your belief is that he's not getting help for any of these issues, right?
Yes.
He's not doing anything about it, right?
I don't know that.
Well, isn't that what your belief is? I'm asking about your belief. I'm not asking about what you know. I'm asking about your belief.
Objection.
I-
She said she did not.
Overruled.
I believe he was doing things, not seeking professional help, but he said he spent a lot of time in prayer about it, things like that.
So you believe he was praying about it then, right?
Yes.
Do you know whether or not you believed he went to a bishop to talk about it?
He did talk to a bishop about his,
Is that a yes or a no, ma'am?
well, I really don't know.
Okay. Says, thank you for sharing so much, and thank you for all your generosity. This world has been blessed because you have been here, right?
Yes.
So you believe somebody who does the sort of horrible act that you've described is a blessing to the world?
He did bless the world in ways.
I'm asking you, my question's a little different. You believe that somebody that did whatever it is that you allege he did is a blessing to the world?
That is not a blessing to the world.
So this wasn't true then?
No, I just said that he did bless the world in ways.
Ma'am, one of the other things that we know about you and him is that you and he had quite the relationship behind closed doors, right?
Yes.
And they're called private relationships for a reason, right?
Yes.
And so one of the things that you complained about on direct examination was that, well, nobody knew what your business or what your affairs were. Do you remember complaining about that?
I don't remember the context, but I may have said something to that effect.
And it upset you that these interactions between you and him were behind closed doors.
No, are you talking about this?
So,
What activities are you referring to?
well, for example, you complained that when you went out, he didn't sort of treat you in the way that indicated that you perhaps were closer to him than you were.
That's correct.
He wouldn't hold your hand, right?
Usually not.
He wouldn't kiss you in public, according to you, right?
He did as long as we weren't on our own home turfs.
So, but in certain circumstances, he wouldn't kiss you when you were out there, right?
That's correct.
And all of this bothered you, didn't it?
It did bother me.
Yeah, and it bothered you because, on the other hand, he's very attentive when the doors are closed, but not when people are around, right?
Yes.
And you could have, though, put an end to that, couldn't you?
Yes.
You could have left, you could have gone to Wairika, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, but you chose not to, right?
Not right away.
Well, you chose not to until April of 2008, right?
That's when I did it. I made the decision prior to that.
All right, you made the decision in March of 2008, right?
Actually, it was Christmas 2007.
Well, do you remember that we took a look at your journal in March of 2008, and that's when you told him that you were going to go to Wairika?
That's right.
And also, we know that you left in April of 2008, right?
Yes.
So, you're free to go at any time that you want, right?
I was broke, so not really, but
Well, you had parents, right?
yes.
They would have helped you if you wanted to go home, wouldn't they?
Objection calls for speculation.
You asked your mom for help to move, right?
Yes.
And she came out there, right?
Yes.
She came out here to Mesa, correct?
Yes.
She flew, correct?
She flew into Phoenix.
And whatever happened, but she went on her way shortly after she came out here, right?
Yes.
And so there was at least an indication based on that they would help you, and what your parents would help you in whatever way they could, right?
Yes.
So it wasn't a situation that you were stranded, was it?
I mean, I don't know. Like, I didn't know that they would help me until I was desperate enough to call her, and she would. She
Well-
said she would.
You indicated that you called and she responded, right?
Yes.
They wouldn't know that you needed their help unless you called, right?
Well, Matt called once, but unless I called and asked for that kind of help, I guess.
When, on your first occasion that you called your mother, isn't it true that she agreed to help, right?
Yes.
And in fact, the way the help was that she even came out here to try to help you load the truck, right?
I think I got the truck after she left, but her purpose was to come down here and help me load the truck and move.
You just didn't have the truck at the time, right?
Not yet.
And so it seems like when you say that, well, you protest and say, well, you know, I was sort of stuck here in Arizona. You weren't really stuck here in Arizona, were you?
I don't know. I mean, my parents have been financially capable at times and other times not. So at the time I called, they were able to help me. They were in a position to help me.
And so they did. The only time that you asked them, at least as it involves this case, the only time that you asked them, they were able to provide some help, right?
Yes.
And in fact, when you got to Wairika, you even had a place to stay, right?
Yes.
You didn't want to stay with your parents, though, right?
There were no bedrooms there. That's right.
So you didn't want to stay with your parents, right?
No, I didn't.
You preferred to stay with your grandparents, correct?
Yes.
And so you had a place to go to, right?
Yes.
And in fact, you could get a job there if you wanted to, right?
I did get a job there.
Well, you could if you wanted to, right? In fact, you started to work at Casa Ramos, according to you, right?
Well, it depends on who hires. I mean, I searched and searched and hunted, and I did not get a job for a while. And I finally was hired somewhere.
You did get a job at Casa Ramos, didn't you?
Yes.
And this was in Wairika, correct?
Yes.
And when you were working at Casa Ramos, you had your own money, right?
Yes.
Nobody took it away from you, right?
No.
And in fact, you weren't lending or giving any money to Mr. Alexander at that point, right?
I was paying back a debt that I owed him.
But that's not giving money to him, is it?
Yes, I was giving it willingly.
Well, if you have a debt, that's not a, and you give money for that, that's not a gift, is it?
It was not a gift. It was a repayment that I was
Right.
giving him.
And in fact, the terms were pretty loose on that, correct?
Very loose.
And whatever you could afford, he basically would accept, right?
Yeah, he said to try to keep it to at least $100 a month, but pay more anytime you can pay more.
They were loose, it was a loose agreement, right?
Yes.
He wasn't putting any financial pressure on you, right?
Not at first.
When you say not at first, that implies that he was putting pressure on you at some point, right?
Yes, he did.
And was an amount mentioned?
No, it wasn't.
And was there ever the threat of him going to court to get the money?
No.
And in fact, he actually even was trying to help you with the car, the one that had lost the transmission and had all those problems when you started to tow it, right?
What do you mean?
Well, he was trying to find out who was responsible for that on your behalf, wasn't he?
I think I was. I had called the law firm. He called a law firm. We were waiting for calls back on it.
But he attempted by calling a law firm, right?
I don't remember if he called his directly or... I mean, I know that I called attorneys on it. And I think he was doing his own research on it as well.
And when you told him that this had happened, he wasn't upset with you, was he?
No, he wasn't.
And in fact, when you told him that this happened, he tried to do the best that he could for you, right? Because
Yes.
you wrote that he felt bad for you, right?
Yes.
And in fact, the way he handled that situation, you actually in your journal called him your hero, right?
Yes.
So it appears that you're in Wairika, this individual, Mr. Alexander, is in the Mesa area, and there doesn't seem to be any other tie other than this sexual bond that the two of you seem to have, right?
Well, that in the car, I guess.
Well, but the car was a loose bond, wouldn't you agree?
Yes.
You could mail the payment and not talk to him ever, right?
That's right.
And you could conceivably pay him off in one payment. Not that you probably would, but you could in one payment, and that would be the end of it, right?
The end of our communication.
No, the end of the issues involving the car, right?
Yes.
And you wouldn't have to communicate anymore if you really didn't want to, right?
After the car was paid and I had the title, no, we wouldn't have to.
Right. And so, but you did have this sexual bond, right?
Yes.
And it appeared that you wanted to be with him as much as he wanted to be with you.
That would be accurate.
And so that when we talk about, or when you tell us things like, well, when I was over at Sky and Chris Hughes' house, approximately a week after you met him, and you...
Exactly, Shecky. And oh, it's glad that you like to. I'm glad that you're. I am. It's cool that you're making dinner and glad to be here. It's awesome. And yeah, she definitely, her voice and the way she's talking is very fake, and it's orchestrated, calculated a certain way because they're trying to make her look like a librarian, but she's really not like that. The defense, and herself chose for her to look dressed the way she did to try to get sympathy from the jury, but in reality, she had completely different look before. So it's all about a deception, indeed. And I do agree she is fake. What she did was totally overrated, like way over the top, with the murder she did. Completely unnecessary, in my opinion.
To indicate that way.
And also for her own good, too. It's like, people don't got to think like they're going to be locked up for a long time, for their whole life. They could just go with someone else that they're more compatible with. So, yeah. Exactly. And you see, like us, Shecky, we know by seeing different streams how people can be, and we know about how people are in the modern time. And not that this wasn't modern, but that some people may not catch like what we would know, but she can come off like Amber Heard, for instance, didn't fake it well enough. This one, yeah, she does do a good job at trying to fake it, although we can tell, and that is a scary thing how she could come off as so normal, and somebody unsuspecting could maybe discover that maybe she is fine and not bad. So, especially the interviews that she did, she comes off as completely normal and supportive. And she was originally saying that someone went in there and murdered him. And yeah, it is scary, I do agree. And people like that are good at faking it. I know Amber didn't. No, she was easy to see through. And this one actually, acts a certain way where you think that, oh, maybe she went through a traumatic event and she didn't. And she just snapped. But although we know, I believe, in my opinion, we know that she is actually causing a very, very well orchestrated deception still. It's frightening how well she could appear as normal. And a lot of people are out there still that are like that. So that is a good point to make. Her attorney wrote a book about her. He didn't like her too much. Yeah. Now this prosecutor, he was not good himself. He was caught for doing sex scandals of stuff like that, and not being right towards the some jurors and employees at the courthouse, and he had to resign around 2020. So, yeah, this guy himself is kind of weird. Although I think he did a good job with his prosecution of his examination of her, but still, yeah, he himself is shady. Very well done. Very, very well said, Shecky. Amber's just crazy, and Jodi is a cold-blooded smasher. Yeah, there you go. That is true. Like a snake. That's what Jodi is, and Amber is just like getting all it's like a tiger or some kind of wild cat that's just acting nuts. But this one is cold calculated that she could act so calm in spite of what she did. Right.
Well, that you had oral sex, and you said that you were uncomfortable with that. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Well, you were pretty attracted to him, weren't you?
My attraction didn't develop that quickly.
So, are you saying that you did that even though you didn't want to?
Yes.
And did you tell him that?
No.
Did you think that he was a mind reader and would know that you didn't want to do that?
No.
And one of the things that you said that was kind of striking about that was that when he was performing oral sex on you that you said, he sure knew what he was doing. Do you remember saying that on direct examination?
Yes.
Do you remember that?
Yes.
Well, doesn't it take one to know one?
Objection, Your Honor, argument is improper.
Sustained.
How do you know he was so good unless you had previously been exposed to that activity?
I was previously exposed to that activity in my prior relationships.
So there wasn't anything wrong with him being experienced in that area, was there?
Not in my opinion, no.
No. So when you said that he sure was experienced in that area, you didn't mean to be saying that that was a negative thing, right?
No.
And the other thing that you said, well, really wasn't your cup of tea that time, right?
That's correct.
You could have stopped at any time and said, I don't want to see you anymore, right?
Yes.
Because that was really the first time you had ever seen him, right?
No, that would have been our second
No, I
meeting.
mean alone, in private.
Second.
You had had some sort of sexual contact with him before that?
No, no sexual contact. I'm talking alone, private.
I'm talking about sexual contact.
Okay.
Based on what happened there and the sexual contact at that point, you said, well, I wasn't really that interested in him at that point, right? You just said that.
There was an interest, but the deep level of my attraction had not developed to its extent.
So
We
you
were near
weren't
at
that attracted to him, right? Would that be fair to say or no?
Well, when you say that attracted, like I was attracted to him, but it felt like it was just too soon, is all.
Well, you said my attraction hadn't developed to that point yet, which appears to say that you weren't attracted to him to have sex with him on that occasion, right?
Not yet to that level.
So you keep saying not yet. I'm just talking about that particular point. I just want you to focus on that point. At that point, you were not sexually attracted to him, right?
I wouldn't say that.
Oh, so you were sexually attracted to him.
On some level, I believe I was.
And so being sexually attracted to him, this was an activity that was enjoyable to you, right?
It otherwise could have been, but I just felt uncomfortable.
Well, you're saying you felt uncomfortable, and are you saying then that it was not an enjoyable situation for you?
Like internally, no. So therefore, physically, I wasn't able to enjoy myself. But there was nothing outwardly wrong with the scenario because, I mean, all the elements were there other than those things.
If you weren't enjoying it internally, and if you weren't enjoying it externally, it appears that what you're saying is that you're not enjoying it at all. Because there's only the internal and the external, right?
Yes.
Overall, to me answer.
Yes.
So you weren't you were not enjoying it, then is what you're saying.
Once it progressed to the oral sex, I was no longer enjoying it.
You could have told him to stop, though, right?
Yes,
But you didn't, right?
that's right.
You never showed any indication that this activity was unwelcome, right?
That's right.
There was no way for him to know that this activity was unwelcome, right?
That's right. In fact, I think I acted like
The
I liked
answer is
it.
yes, right?
That's right.
And so after that, and really what we have for that sort of assertion, all we have is your word, correct?
Yes.
We don't have, for example, any video or anything like that that would show us what happened then to see whether or not you were enjoying this particular activity, correct?
That's correct.
And with regard to the other time, the situation in the car, again, you indicated that you were uncomfortable with it, right?
Somewhat, yes.
If you were uncomfortable the first time, and you have the ability to say no, you could have stopped the second time, right?
Yes.
That was a choice that you made, correct?
Yes.
For whatever reason, you made the choice to be with them that second time, right?
Yes, I did.
And so when you talk about, well, I was uncomfortable about it, I felt bad about it, or whatever the terms are that you use, at some point, even though you felt that way, that was your responsibility to let the other party know that perhaps you weren't into it as much as they were, right?
What do you mean?
Well,
You mean if I didn't want to proceed with it?
pardon?
Then it would have been my responsibility to tell him?
Right,
That's right.
you could have told him no, right?
I could have, yes.
And you've done that before in your lifetime, haven't you?
Yes.
And one of the things that you kept saying on direct examination was that, well, you know, I felt that I liked him and didn't want to hurt his feelings, or something like that. Do you remember saying something like that, that you didn't want to hurt his feelings?
Yes.
Saying no to you, the fact that you would have said no, you think would have hurt his feelings?
I felt that way, like it would have been a blow to his ego.
So you felt that it would have been a blow to his ego then, if you would have told him no, right?
Yes,
Well, who cares about his ego?
I did.
You cared about his ego even though you had only known him for approximately 2 weeks?
Yes,
So does that mean that you were more invested in him than you're telling us? In other words, at that point, you really had strong feelings in him, for him?
they weren't strong, but there was an attraction there.
So you were attracted to him then?
Yes.
And you wanted this sort of activity to continue, right?
What kind of activity?
Sexual activity.
Well, I didn't stop it.
Well, when you say you didn't stop it, it just sounds, again, like you're saying it was all him and not you, right?
No, it takes two to tango.
That's right. And it was a mutual activity, wasn't it?
Yes.
Let's see what you have to say about that. Move for the admission of Exhibit 486.
No objection, Your Honor.
Did you say 486?
Yes, ma'am.
486 is admitted.
Like if you're moving away and you're saying you want to end this unhealthy relationship, and yet A, you're still making plans to get together and travel, and B, you're still showing up for sex.
Yeah, it was hard to tell Travis no. He would call me at night, and we would have long conversations, and he would tell me the things that he would like to see happen when he came up to visit me, to put it in a G-rated manner, and the things that he wanted to do as far as traveling and where we would go and what we would do. And then it wasn't like I wasn't the agenda for him coming up, but that was a big part of it. He was going to continue on to Washington, see friends there, and then come all the way back down and see the Pacific Coast Highway as well. It eventually became sex.
Was it mutual?
It was always mutual, yeah.
You did indicate there that it was always mutual, right?
That's correct.
So that means, for example, that when you and he were involved the very first time, that it was mutual, right?
Yes, it was.
And when you were involved any time after that, it was also mutual, right?
I believe it was.
So when you tell us that that you felt like used piece of toilet paper, well, that you're sort of telling us that at that point that it wasn't mutual, that somebody was taking more than they were giving.
No, it was still mutual at that point.
Even though you felt that way, you can still say that it was a mutual kind of thing.
Yes.
Right?
When I told him to stop, he did.
Pardon?
When I told him to stop, he did.
So anytime that you would ask him to stop, he would stop, right?
Except the one time in May 2007.
But in the statement that we just heard in Exhibit 486, you did indicate that it was always mutual, right?
Yes,
You never indicated that there was ever a problem, right?
that's right.
Ma'am, one of the things that we know is that there was this text message that you received while you were at the Grove. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes,
And this was sometime in November of 2006, right?
that's right.
And this is what you told us that you were at some sort of meeting or something at a restaurant, right?
We were first at a Super Saturday, and then a group of friends and I, business associates, we all went to a restaurant.
What was the name of the restaurant?
I don't remember.
What was the name of the city?
Anaheim.
And you were in Anaheim, and you were at this restaurant. Who else was sitting there?
Michelle was sitting across from me. I think Lenore was there. I was still kind of new, so I don't remember all the names, but I think my friend Jared was sitting to my left. And I mean, I can picture faces, but I don't remember their names. There was a whole long table of people.
And you received this text message, right?
Yes,
And at that time, you indicated to us that you had a flip-top phone, right?
that's right.
And basically, when you receive a text message, what would be required is for you to open the phone to take a look at it, right?
Yes,
And in addition, you would have to take an extra step, right?
yes,
You would have to take a step to take a look at the text message, right?
yes,
And you said that you were somewhat unawares of what was in that you were unaware what was in that text message, right?
yes,
And that you went ahead and that you opened it, right?
yes.
Did anybody see it?
Well, I don't know if Jared saw it. I don't think he did. I flipped it shut real quick and then looked around to make sure nobody was looking.
Because you were able to recognize what it was, right?
Yes,
And you found it offensive, right?
not at all, actually.
So you thought it was okay then?
Yes,
And so when you were telling us about how it was that you received this, you didn't mean to tell us that you were offended by it, right?
no, I was not offended.
And in fact, it was something that you liked, right?
I did like it, yeah.
And it was something that he was showing you attention, and so looking at it was something that for whatever reason, at least indicated there was a relationship, a partial relationship there forming, right?
Yes,
And you never told him, don't ever send me anything like that, right?
no,
You never indicated to him afterwards, I'm embarrassed by that sort of activity, don't do that, right?
I did not say that.
And in fact, you were so I would say, well, weren't you so happy with that activity that you actually took the time, the effort, and the trouble to download it?
I took the effort and the trouble to download all the photos on my phone at once.
Well, you knew that that was on your telephone, didn't you?
Yes,
That's not something that you forget, right?
no,
And in fact, there were other pictures that were involved at other times that were deleted, right?
on my phone?
Yes.
Yes,
And in this particular case, though, this actually went onto the hard drive that was damaged that we've heard about, right?
that's right.
And that hard drive was available for your enjoyment, right?
Until it broke, yes.
But you could access whatever photographs that you wanted, including the picture of Mr. Alexander's penis, right?
Yes,
And you also sent him pictures of yourself, right?
yes.
And you sent him photographs of yourself topless, right?
Yes, I did.
You were not offended by the fact that you were sending him photographs. In other words, that wasn't a problem for you, right?
Not the types that I was sending. I don't think I showed my face in the photos.
But you did show your upper chest area, correct?
I believe there were photos, several of that nature.
And there were 3 of them, right?
I don't remember.
And did you also send them to his phone?
Yes.
And you used your telephone to take the pictures?
Yes.
And even doing that, you took the trouble to then download those also onto your computer, right?
I might have.
Well, you're familiar with these photographs that came from this computer, right?
No, we couldn't find the pictures that you're referring to.
But you didn't see anything wrong or anything untoward with you sending in pictures and him sending you pictures, right?
No, I didn't.
And in fact, it was almost like it was a learning process for both of you, right?
Objection calls for speculation.
Sustained.
Well, you and he were experimenting, correct?
You mean with the camera phone?
Well, no, just sexually speaking.
I don't know what you mean by experimenting, but we were sexual.
Okay. Well, let's talk about something that was on the May 10th, 2008 conversation that you had with him, okay?
Okay.
And while they're looking at that, ma'am, I'm going to show you exhibits numbers 425, 426, and 427.
Okay.
Do you recognize the person in those?
Yeah.
That's you, correct?
Yeah, this is me just prior to my surgery for breast
Right.
implants
Okay.
that Daryl took.
And your surgery was in May of 2006, right?
June 2006.
Okay. I move for the admission of exhibits number 425 to 427.
Objection as to relevance.
Ma'am, you indicated that you sent photographs to Mr. Alexander, correct?
Yes.
And these are part of the photographs that you sent to him, right?
Those were taken before I met him.
But you actually sent them to him, didn't you?
I don't believe I would send him those. He wanted to see them, and I was too embarrassed to show him my pre-surgery breasts.
And so it's okay, you felt a lot better once you had your surgery then, right?
Not at first, but ultimately, yes.
But you did take these photographs, right?
Yes.
And you kept these photographs, right?
I guess I did. They're there.
Right. And the only purpose for these photographs is of a sexual nature, right?
No, they're medical photos.
I'm sorry, hold on.
Objection.
Don't answer the question. Your objection?
To the relevance, it has nothing to do with her relationship with Mr. Alexander.
Overruled. You may answer the question.
No, they were just before shots for my surgery, just for that purpose.
And Judge, I move for the admission of Exhibit 487.
No objection.
487 is admitted.
The KY?
I've heard of it obviously, but I've never used it.
You know, I had never used it and I'd always heard of it until one day I just thought, because it's so cliched and people make fun of it and, you know, but it's great stuff.
No, it's awesome. There's nothing else.
Did you get used to that now?
No. I use freaking Vaseline.
Oh, does Vaseline work? It seems so thick.
Well, no, it works. You just got it.
Oh, you mean the lotion?
Oh, no, I use the jelly.
Oh.
Well, it works well. No, it doesn't work as well as KY.
Yeah. And KY is good for that. It's like good for you. I don't mean like it's beneficial, but it's better. It's the best thing for you because it's designed specifically for that purpose. It's best for your skin. It's okay to go on the inside and, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah, see, the other stuff is really nothing's really okay on the inside.
Like I've used baby oil in the past, but it doesn't hurt, but it's not the best thing because it's mineral oil, you know.
So it appears that in terms of the, at least in terms of the KY, you were the one that introduced Mr. Alexander to it, right?
Yes, that's right.
And it was used as part of these sexual encounters that the two of you had.
Yes.
And you introduced that into the relationship because it was enjoyable to you, right?
It made our activities more enjoyable.
So they were enjoyable to start with, and this just enhanced them, right?
Most were enjoyable to start with.
Pardon?
Most were the first time you did.
I'm just asking about the KY. You introduced the KY into the relationship to make it more sexually enjoyable, right?
Yes.
And in fact, before that, your experience had been with baby oil, right?
That's right.
And at least as to Bobby Juarez, that's what was involved. That's what you used with him, right?
Probably. I don't remember that far back, but definitely with Matt.
So when we're talking about this level of experimentation, in this case, it looks like the both of you were experimenting together sexually, right?
That's right.
So that when we hear things like, well, I felt like a prostitute, that's not exactly true, right?
Rephrase.
When you say that you felt like a prostitute, that's at odds with what you're telling us, or what we're hearing here about the KY.
Well, you're talking about two different incidents, so yes, it would be at odds.
So your participation, if you will, in these activities was equal to his, right? Wasn't it?
Yes.
So any derogatory statement, such as, I felt like a prostitute, isn't really what was going on, representative of what's going on, right?
It was, but it was my fault for feeling that way because I allowed it.
Well, I know that you allowed it and you felt that way, and you say that you felt like a prostitute, but when we hear, for example, this partial clip of this sexual conversation, it looks like you're the one that's moving it along as opposed to him.
Is that a question?
It is a question.
What's the question?
The question is, isn't it true that you were the one that was moving it along?
I'd say it was mutual.
Well, if it's mutual, then there is no, I guess, suggestion then, or any reason why you should feel like a prostitute if it's mutual then, right?
I didn't feel like a prostitute during, just afterward I did.
Well, this is suggestive of you being as much of a participant in these activities as he was, right?
Yes, and I was.
And so you indicated on 2 occasions on direct examination that you felt like a prostitute, right?
I believe referencing Ehrenberg, yes.
And in Ehrenberg, you said that that's when you felt like one, correct?
Not when, after Ehrenberg, after thinking about it, and he didn't call me for 3 days, I thought, hotel room, all that. Just kind of felt that way.
And then additionally, you also said that you felt like that after the baptism, right?
No, I think after that I said I felt like a used piece of toilet paper.
And you didn't convey that to him, did you?
No.
Did you also say that you felt like a prostitute when he came over to your house and engaged in oral sex on the porch? Is that the other time?
If I did say that, that would be accurate.
And so if you did feel like that, and remember you even referenced a piece of chocolate being thrown your way, do you remember that?
Yes.
And then you said, well, I felt kind of like a prostitute. Do you remember saying that now?
Yes.
So that was already when you were in Mesa, right? Living in Mesa, right?
That's right.
That's after you had broken up with him on June 29th of 2007, right?
Yes.
That's after you and he had sex many times, right?
Yes.
That's after you and he had already started using the KY, right?
Yes.
And so how is it that you can say, I felt like a prostitute, if you're the one that's sort of moving the relationship ahead?
Well, your question doesn't make sense to me.
It doesn't make sense to you. Why is that, ma'am? Because you're moving the relationship ahead by providing the KY, right?
I don't know. We would have used something else if it wasn't KY, so no.
Well, you might have used something else if it wasn't KY, but you provided the something else, didn't you? The KY.
In this case, I did, yes.
Well, we're not talking about any other cases, ma'am. We're talking about this case. You were the one that had the KY or brought it into the relationship to make it better, right?
To facilitate our activities.
Sure. And that would make them better if it facilitated your activities, right?
Yes.
And yet, you're telling us that, and on the other hand, you're telling us, well, I felt like a prostitute. Which one is it?
Well, when he jizzes on my face and throws candy my way and walks away without a word, it kind of feels like I was a prostitute. And when we're mutually going through sexual activity and there happens to be KY there, it's mutual.
And you're saying that the offensive thing here was the jizz on your face, right?
I didn't say it was offensive because I knew it was coming and I willingly participated in it.
Well, no, but that's sort of how you're making it sound, like it's something that you didn't want, right?
If I didn't want it, then I wouldn't have done it.
Well, let's see what a text message that you actually sent him involving that activity. Take a look at another exhibit. Please take a look at exhibits 489 and 488. 488 does not include Mr. Alexander's responses, but 489 does. Take a look at those.
Yes, I remember this.
And these are text messages that you sent out referencing the particular sex act that we've been talking about, right?
No, this took place in his bedroom, not on the porch.
But it talks about the same sex act, doesn't it? Oral sex, doesn't it?
Oral sex, ejaculating on the face, yes.
Okay. I move for the admission of exhibit number 489.
We approach.
You may.
Let's take a look at exhibit 489. Ma'am, the date on that is January 18th of 2008, correct?
Yes,
And again, we've already talked about the times, that this is 7 hours too fast, correct?
that's correct.
And it does say that it's an incoming message, right?
Yes,
Which means, you previously told us, that incoming means that it's you that is sending this text message, right?
that's right.
And then, this is what the text message reads. Will do. The reason I was asking about later tonight is because I want to give you a nice BJ. BJ stands for what?
Blowjob.
And blowjob means, without getting well, blowjob means that you put your mouth on his penis, right?
Yes, oral sex.
Right. And in addition to it, you say, and I'd like a generous facial in return, right?
Yes,
That means that you want him to ejaculate on your face, right?
that's correct.
One of the things that you talked about previously, feeling like a prostitute, involved a situation where he came over to your house, right?
Yes,
On the porch, right?
that's right.
And this is what happened, what is said here in this exhibit, right?
This is a different event, but just that part, yes.
It may be a different event, but it's the same act, correct?
Yes,
And then on one occasion, he just did it, and on another occasion, he actually is when he left the chocolate, right?
yes,
And what you're saying is you found the other one and you felt like a prostitute, even though you're the one that's asking for him to do that on January 18th of 2008, right?
this is another night, but yes.
So,
I'm not asking him to do those two things that you just referenced. I'm asking, I went over to his house. We were in his bedroom, on his bed,
right.
that kind of thing.
But it's the same act, isn't it?
Yes,
And so you want him to do to you what happened on the porch, right? Same act.
yes. Well, no, I didn't want to kneel like on my porch and have him walk away from me when he was done.
But I'm talking about the sexual act itself. Isn't it the same thing?
Yes,
And so, yet one of them you describe as leaving you feeling like a prostitute, yet this one, which is the same thing, you're requesting it, right?
yes. Well, no. I don't know what you mean by same thing. If you're talking about jizz on your face, it's the same thing. As far as the context, it's completely different.
Right. What you're talking about is geography, right?
Geography, mood, setting, and all
Right.
that.
You're talking about one being on the porch and this one being in his house, right?
Yes,
Putting aside geography, that one happened in the front of the porch and one happened in his house, isn't it the same act?
yes, it is.
And this is one that you are requesting, right?
That's right.
And we know that because you say, what do you say, right?
Yes,
And actually then he says, Or we can just grind, right?
I think I said that.
Okay, then you say that, or we can just grind, correct?
Yes,
And he's saying something to the effect of, that's a good close, right?
right.
So we can get our terms straight. Grinding is a sexual term for those in the Mormon community, correct?
Well, I think it is. Usually Mormons typically do it with their clothes on, but we did it without our clothes.
And when you say that they do it with their clothes on, that means that they rub their genitalia together, correct? And they call it grinding, correct?
Yes,
But you and Mr. Alexander did it without your clothes on, right?
yes.
And was KY involved in this grinding activity?
Sometimes yes, sometimes no.
And it would involve, if you will, sexual intimacy, correct?
Yes.
All right.
Please be back in the designated area at 3:20. Please remember the admonition, you are excused. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to recess for the evening. I'm going to, all right, tomorrow morning, 10:15. Please remember the admonition. You are excused on the record.
Yes, Your Honor. A couple of issues regarding Miss Arias and that directly relate to her health and ability to be prepared for trial. One is that Miss Arias is not, throughout the course of this trial, had access.
All right, so it is very explicit. There is a scene a couple of videos ago where it was these explicit messages between her and Travis, on the phone, and yeah, it was very graphic. So yeah, it definitely has some really over the top things in here that are cringe. Absolutely.
2 lunches, the sheriff's office has not provided them to her, and my first request is that this court order that they do so. My second request related to that is related to the migraine she's having and the feeding therein that we, and I misspoke a little bit earlier about 4:20, but as long as we're out of here done by 4:30 as opposed to letting it go past, we should be fine in that regard, as long as we do make 4:30 a drop dead time.
All right, as we discussed earlier, I believe the sheriff's office has agreed to provide lunches. And I will inquire and let you know tomorrow. Anything else, council?
No, thank you.
10:15 tomorrow. Thank you. We're adjourned.
It's Exhibit 490, which comes from an excerpt from your conversation on May 10th of 2008 with Mr. Alexander. Let's listen to it and see if that's your voice, and then we'll move it in.
And it goes away quickly, the body absorbs it. Okay, well, you just keep spreading it on as you need it, and you keep slip sliding around. remember the first time that you and I grinded at Ehrenberg, and we both, like, I ended up just coming, and you're like, whoa, I came. You came at the same time. I looked around, and there's just jizz, like, all over. It was so hot. We came together. That was so cool.
Oh, Ehrenberg.
Yeah. I think about that when you drive through there.
Oh, yeah, always.
So do I.
And that's your voice on there, right?
Yes.
And that's you and Mr. Alexander discussing what may have happened in Ehrenberg, correct?
Yes. What did
And-
happen?
Pardon?
What did happen?
What happened in Ehrenberg then, right?
Yes.
And you were talking in very fond tones about that experience in this clip that we just played, weren't you?
Yes.
And it was because it was fun, right?
Yes.
And it was something that you enjoyed, right?
Yes.
So when you tell us that you felt like a prostitute, it really does, it seems to be contradicted by what's on Exhibit 490, right?
Not if you understand why I said that.
Well, you do say that you enjoyed the visit to Ehrenberg, correct?
Yes.
You do enjoy the sex in Ehrenberg, correct?
Yes.
I move for the admission of Exhibit 490.
No objection.
490 is admitted.
And you also had another conversation involving Ehrenberg with people from 48 Hours, right?
Yes.
Let me have that marked as an exhibit. I move for the admission of Exhibit 491.
No additional objection, Your Honor.
491 is admitted.
Just tell me more about him. Like, what it was that was special about him?
He really was an amazing person to know. He was generous, one of the most generous people that I've ever encountered. There was one point where we were in Ehrenberg. I think that's Arizona. It's right on the border of Arizona or California. It's Ehrenberg. And we were driving up. We were hitting the freeway to go to a movie theater. And we stopped at the stop sign to get onto the freeway, and there was a lady there holding a sign. I don't remember if it said, "We'll work for food," or "Hungry," or "God bless," or something like that. But either way, he pulled over. We were in his BMW, rolled down the window, and he said, "Are you hungry?" And she said, "Yeah." And so with that, he turns around, and we go to Wendy's, and we get the triple decker that Wendy's sells, and the biggie fries, and the biggest drink that you could get. And we drove back and gave it to her, and she was really grateful. And she just went over and sat down away from the freeway and started eating and had dinner that night. So just little examples like that. That's just one of so many that people could tell you about his generosity. So there were so many attractive qualities about him. He was very kind. When I moved to Mesa originally, I downsized from a house to a room. And I didn't have a place to put my art. I didn't have a place to put my books and some of the things that were really precious to me. So he allowed me to use, he had so much storage available in his home, so he allowed me to use a lot of that storage to put things in his home, in his garage, or in his closet, in his office, things like that. So and it wasn't even a question. He was just like, put it at my house, you know? It wasn't like he was doing me this big favor. It was just like, of course, you know, why think twice about it? So he never was showy about how generous he was. It just was like second nature to him.
Man, when you first described this visit to Ehrenberg, you told us something that was a little bit different than what we heard right now, right?
Yes, according to the questions I was asked.
Well, yes or no?
Yes.
And you told us about going to Sizzler, right?
Yes.
You told us about him grabbing your rear end, right?
Yes.
You told us about the sexual encounters, right?
Yes.
You told us that really wasn't a romantic weekend at all.
No, it wasn't.
And in fact, the indication from you, from the witness stand, was that this was a pretty bad weekend all the way around, wasn't it?
No, I didn't say that.
Well, your indication was that all he wanted was sex, right?
It seemed that way.
Well, if it seemed that way, that was your belief, right?
Not at the time, but in retrospect, yes.
So, as you said here today, it looked like, or not looked like, all he wanted was sex, right?
Mostly.
Well,
Not all,
is it
but
yes or
mostly.
no?
Mostly.
And when you got there, according to you, that's the first thing that happened, right?
Yes.
And then you guys sat around at some point and started to look at TV, or watch TV, correct?
Yes.
And at some point you went out to dinner, right?
Yes.
And at another point you went to the movies, right?
Yes.
And you indicated that, well, to you, that was, the way you said it, it wasn't a very romantic weekend, right?
Not overly romantic. In fact, there wasn't really any romance that
Ma'am,
weekend.
I'm not asking you to embellish right now. I'm asking you whether or not you told us before that it was not a romantic weekend. That's what you said on direct, correct?
Yes.
And you didn't tell us about this circumstance where he stopped and he gave this woman this burger from Wendy's either, did you?
No.
It appears that there are two sides to what went on in Ehrenberg, doesn't it?
No.
Well, it appears that there's the side that we just heard from where you enjoyed the sex, right?
Yes.
A side where you and he were driving around, correct?
Yes.
And he helped some homeless person, right?
I think she was homeless.
Well, it's somebody that was standing there at the side of the road, right?
Yes.
And with some sort of sign. And it looks like this is based on what we heard from the previous excerpt. It looks like you were sort of reminiscing back on May 10th of 2008, reminiscing in a very positive fashion, right?
May 10th, 2000. Oh, yes. I was.
That's the phone call that we just listened to prior to this.
Yes.
And it looked like you were reminiscing in a very positive fashion, right?
Yes.
Not the same picture that you presented previously with regard to the Ehrenberg meeting, correct?
I was asked about a different time frame.
Ma'am.
So then that would be correct.
So the answer is that is correct, then,
Yes.
right? One of the other things that was presented in this case was that it appeared that Mr. Alexander, from what you presented, was an individual that was totally into sex, correct?
Yes.
And that's when he was with you, correct?
Me and other girls.
Well, had you ever been in a bedroom with him and another girl,
Yes.
and the three of you had sex?
No.
So when you say that he had sex with other women, you really don't know if that's true or not, do you?
If he was telling me the truth, then it's true.
Well, ma'am, I'm not asking you what he told you. I'm asking from your personal experience in terms of the situations that you know about. You don't really know of any other circumstances where he had sex with anybody else, right?
I do know.
And you're talking because you were there and you were watching his penis go inside them. Is that what you're saying?
No.
You're just telling us that because of some conversations that you may have had with somebody else, correct?
Him.
Other people, right?
Just one person.
And as we know, people don't lie, do they?
That's not necessarily true.
Well, no, people don't lie. That's what you're telling us right now because you're saying that somebody told me, then it must be true.
I said if,
Ma'am, you're saying that it's based on what somebody told you, right?
based on what Travis told me, yes.
And people have a tendency to embellish things sometimes, don't they?
Yes.
Just like you in this case, correct?
Not on the stand, but in this case, yes.
Haven't you lied from the very start of this case until, according to you, you got on the witness stand?
No.
Well, you're saying that you're not lying here, that what you're telling us is the truth, right?
Yes.
But you are telling us that when you spoke with the detective, that wasn't true, correct? Whatever it is that you told him.
Well, some things were not true. Most things.
Most things were true? Is that what you're saying?
Some things were not true.
Did you lie to the detective, yes or no?
Yes.
And did you lie to him on 2 occasions?
More than 2, yes.
Well, I'm talking about 2 dates. Did you lie to him
Yes.
on 2 dates? And did you also lie to 48 hours?
Yes.
Did you lie to people in Utah?
Yes.
Did you lie to Daniel Freeman?
Yes, everyone.
Right, so you lied to a lot of people, but you're saying that just because you are sitting here in this courtroom, there has been, for lack of a better term, a conversion, and you're now telling the truth, right?
For lack of a better term, yes.
And the same thing with regard to whatever Mr. Alexander tells you, everything that he says, you believe, right?
Not necessarily.
Well, but you do believe the part about the sexual encounters, right?
Yes.
Did you ever talk to the women that were involved to confirm it?
No.
So you don't have any confirmation from these women as to whether or not it happened, right?
No.
And it appears, however, though, that this sexual interest that he had was directed towards you, wasn't it?
Some of it.
No, most of it, or all of it. Wasn't it directed towards you?
Not all of it. Some of it. Most of it. I don't know. Maybe during the time we were together, most of it. I don't know.
Well, let's take a look at and see what was said during May 10th of 2008 about that. And I'll ask you after I play it to see whether or not that is your voice and whether it is part of the previous stuff that we played.
We ask that it be moved to be admitted before it's published.
Then I'll move for the admission of Exhibit 492.
No objection.
492 is admitted.
Yeah, you are right, though, that in the bath. Oh, God, hot.
Oh, when we took a bath together?
Uh-huh.
That was surreal, like, honestly. And I think, I mean, maybe the candlelight and the bubbles all had something to do with it, but you were amazing. You made me feel like a goddess. Like, I wasn't saying you were, like, worshiping me, but you made me feel like I was the most freaking beautiful woman on the whole planet. Like, I so felt like I was the goddess. And so, aside from all those warm, fuzzy feelings, but like, it was so sexy, and it was so hot, and oh, gosh.
Well, that wasn't hard to make you feel that way because you were freaking, you were hot. You are serious, honey. I don't want to question you right now for that. You're touching yourself.
I am already.
I just started.
I wish those were my hands giving you a hand job.
Honey, so, like, before I met you, I never jacked off. Once I started meeting, I don't know, once a month, once every 2 weeks. Like, since you've left, I jack off every day, sometimes 2-3 times a day.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Well, it's always just a fucking
Oh my God, me right now. I wish you were here. If you were here, my grandparents were asleep, I'd let you right into my bedroom. We'd shut and lock the door, and we would just have a big fuck fest. We'd go at it all night.
That is your voice, right?
Yes.
And that's him telling you that in terms of his sexual activity, masturbation specifically, he didn't masturbate before he met you, right?
No, he didn't say that. He said he hardly ever did.
Well, ma'am, perhaps we should listen to it again so we can hear it. And you're saying that he's not saying, I don't know, before I met you, I never jacked off. I want you to take a listen to that.
You are right, that into that.
Oh, when we took a bath together? That was surreal, like honestly. And I think, I mean, maybe the candlelight and the bubbles all had something to do with it, but you were amazing. You made me feel like a goddess. Like, I wasn't saying you were like worshiping me, but you made me feel like I was the most freaking beautiful woman on the whole planet. Like, I so felt like I was the goddess. And so, aside from all those warm, fuzzy feelings, but like, it was so sexy, and it was so hot, and oh, gosh.
Well, that wasn't hard to make you feel that way, because you were freaking, you were hot. You are serious, honey. I don't want to court you right now for that, because I'm touching yourself.
I am already.
I just started.
I wish those were my hands giving you a hand job.
Honey, so you know, like, before I met you, I never jacked off.
Did you hear that?
Yes.
He said, honey, before I met you, I never jacked off, right?
Yes.
And you have no reason to doubt that, do you?
I have plenty of reason to doubt that. Yes, I do have reason to doubt that.
And you're basing your previous statements to us about him being with other women on what he told you, right?
Yes.
And yet we have him here via this technical medium telling us that he never jacked off before he met you. Isn't that what he's saying?
Yes.
And so what you're saying is that, well, I'll believe him when it's to my benefit, but I won't believe him when it's not.
Objection, this contrast is a testimony. We're talking about apples and oranges, sex versus masturbation.
Overruled. You may answer the question.
I don't know, because I don't think that's to my benefit or not, either way.
Well, what you're saying to me is, I'll believe him when he tells me that he's having some sort of intimacies with other women. You told us that you believe that, right?
Yeah.
And you
I do.
believe that without talking to the women, right?
Yes.
Yet, when we hear him in court saying that he never masturbated or jacked off before he met you, you're saying you won't believe that, right?
Based on what he's also
Yes
told me,
or
then
no?
that would be no, because he has jacked off.
Yes
before
or no? You won't believe what he just said there, right?
that. It wasn't consistent, so no.
So no, you don't believe him, right?
No, I don't believe that.
And in fact, with regard to this recording, the person that was recording it was you, right?
Yes.
It wasn't him, right?
No.
And you're saying that it was for his benefit, though, right? That's what you told us on direct examination, right?
No, I didn't say for his benefit. It was for us to listen to.
Well, it was actually for your benefit, wasn't it?
I don't see how.
Well, in terms of who had control of it, that was you, right?
Control of the recording?
Yes, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about a recording that you made on May 10th of 2008. Are we clear on that?
Yes.
That recording was in your control, right?
Yes.
It was never in Mr. Alexander's control, was it?
No.
So that if anybody was going to enjoy that recording, it was you.
No.
Well, if anybody had it, it was you then, right?
I had it, yes.
And if anybody wanted to hear it again, that would be, the only person that could do that would be you, right?
That's not right.
How is it that Mr. Alexander could hear it if you were the only person who had it?
That's what we were trying to figure out, how to replay it for him.
Ma'am, you still had control of it though, didn't you?
For about a week, I did.
Well, yes or no, did you have control of it?
Yes, for a week.
You keep saying for a week. Are you saying that you then gave it to him?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
All right, so, but you did have control of this recording in the sense that it was in your telephone, right?
Yes.
It was never in Mr. Alexander's possession, right?
No.
So if anybody wanted to listen to it, they would have to go through you, right?
At that time, yes.
Well, what time do you think we're talking about, ma'am?
I'm talking about for the week following the recording.
I'm talking about...
Beyond that, then the answer would be no.
The week following the recording, you keep referencing that. Did something happen to the record? Did you give the recording to Mr. Alexander after a week?
No.
Did you give this recording to Mr. Alexander after 2 or 3 weeks?
No, I never gave it to him.
That's true. So if anybody was going to enjoy this recording, it wasn't Mr. Alexander because he didn't have control of it, right?
That wasn't the purpose of the recording, so that would be
Did
no.
I ask you what the purpose of the recording was, ma'am?
No.
I asked you if anybody was going to enjoy the fruits of this, whatever it was, it would have been you, right?
It would have been Travis.
Oh, so Travis was going to enjoy it even though he had no control over it, right?
I don't know how to answer that.
Why don't you know how to answer that?
Because
You're
the way
one
your
that-
question is
Ma'am,
phrased.
excuse me. You were the one that was in control of it, right?
Yes.
And you were the one that actually created that recording, right?
We both created the recording.
Well, no, that's not true. Was he pushing the button over and over to keep this recording going?
No,
Or was
I
that
was.
you?
I was.
So you created it then, right?
I recorded it. We both created it together.
No, you recorded it, which means that's how it came into being. He had nothing to do with the recording, did he?
I don't agree with that.
Overruled.
No, I don't agree with that.
So you're saying that somehow he was pushing a button in Mesa so that this recording would come about? Is that what you're saying?
That's not what I'm saying.
Well, technologically speaking, ma'am, the only person that was in control of creating this recording was you, right?
That's correct.
And he was a player, if you will, or one of the protagonists in this little tete-a-tete, whatever went on, right?
That's correct.
And so he didn't even know he was being recorded.
That's not correct.
Well, does he ever say at any point in that whole recording that we ever hear, could you record this for me? He doesn't say that, does he?
No, it was already recording.
Ma'am, does it say in that recording any words from Mr. Alexander that say anything to the effect that he knows that he's being recorded?
I don't think so.
When you say you don't think so, you were there when it was actually created, right?
Yes.
You were here when it was played, right?
Yes.
So you're familiar with this, right?
Yes.
And nowhere is there any indication that Mr. Alexander even knew that he was being recorded, right?
No, I don't think either of us say anything about it being recorded.
And you didn't tell him throughout this whole, from what we heard, you didn't tell him that he was being recorded, right?
I wouldn't have needed to. We already knew.
Ma'am, yes or no?
No.
In this recording, did you tell him that he was being recorded?
I answered no.
So, and you had this recording for whatever purposes you wanted to use it, right?
Yes.
You could have posted it on the internet if you wanted to, right?
In theory, yes, I could have.
Well, that can be done. You know how to do that, right?
No, I didn't know how to get anything off the phone at that time, but if that was my goal, I could have figured that out.
Sure. And this recording that you had, for whatever reason, you chose not to erase it, right?
Not for a week.
Did you erase it after a week? Is that what you're saying?
I didn't have the opportunity. So no, I did not erase it after a week.
Pardon?
No, I didn't.
So, and you just said something about you didn't have an opportunity to erase it after a week. If this was on the 10th, what happened on May 17th that prevented you from having it erased?
Well, it may not have been exactly a week. I think it may have been the 18th instead of the 17th. But I believed that my phone was stolen, and it was actually lost for about, a few years. It didn't.
So according to you, this phone was stolen for approximately a couple of years, right?
Yes, I reported it stolen with the police, and I had insurance on the phone, so they replaced a new one for me.
And then it resurfaced, right?
Yes.
And, you know, yesterday when we talked about this issue involving recordings and that sort of thing, and specifically involving Mr. Alexander's penis, one of the things that you told us was that, well, yes, I was the one that downloaded it onto the hard drive of my computer, right? Do you remember telling us that?
Yes,
If you would have been offended, ma'am, you could have deleted that photograph, right?
if I was offended.
Yeah, you could have, but you didn't do that, right?
Right, I wasn't offended.
Now, in terms of this recording, it also gives us a view into what your views are about the sexual relationship that you had with Mr. Alexander, doesn't it?
Yes,
And in fact, in it, you indicate that you want to blossom sexually, right?
yes,
And that he's the person that you want to help you blossom sexually, correct?
I didn't say want, I said I have with him, and that I would like to in the future with somebody else.
Well, let's take a look so that we're totally clear about what you said. I move for the addition of Exhibit 493.
No objection.
493 is admitted.
You're not joking. I mean, there are times when we just, I'm trying to think of an example. There have been a few times where I've been bold enough to just pull you onto the bed and start, and oh my gosh, do you remember that time I came to visit you when I was still working in California, and I fell asleep on your chair next to your bed? And you just woke me up by pulling my pants off and totally licking my pussy.
Yeah.
I was so embarrassed because I just got my Brazilian on and I was worried about what it looked like. And I was like, and the lights were bright and they were on. I was all self-conscious. But I remember that was hot. I was totally tired and I was asleep. And I would have been completely content just cuddling with you once we got into bed, but you had another agenda.
You gotta admit though, there's not many guys that would do that. It's just fun.
Well, see, that's the thing. I don't know what the ratio is, but I get the impression that it's kind of an awkward subject to bring up, but eventually we're both going to remarry people, and I just get the feeling that there aren't a lot of Mormon guys like that. And there may or may not, I'm sure there are plenty of freaky Mormon girls, but are they the marrying type? I shouldn't say that. I'm just saying, are they the type that you'd want to marry, or are the guys out there the type that I'd want to marry? And I don't know, I really would like to marry a return missionary, but like you, someone who can be freaky. I just worry about that. There are plenty of nice people out there, but I worry that I might feel like a wilting flower is all, who never really blossomed to her full potential, at least in the sexual realm. I feel like I have with you, but I still have plenty of blossom time left, and I want to live all those years being that way. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's all.
Well, I'm going to enjoy your blossoms and I can look there.
Yeah.
I'm going to tie you to a tree and put it in your ass, by the way.
What's that?
I'm going to tie you to a tree and put it in your ass, by the way.
Oh my gosh. That is so debasing. I like it.
Ma'am, you did hear the talk there as it started about a situation where he woke you up in a sexual fashion, didn't he?
yes,
Do you remember on direct examination also telling us that on a previous occasion when you first had vaginal intercourse with him that he woke you up in a similar fashion, right?
Well, similarly, yes.
Well, what you told us then at that time was that you were asleep. Do you remember telling us that?
Yes.
And that he pulled your panties or whatever it was that you were wearing down below, correct?
Which time?
The time that you claimed that he placed his penis inside you.
I don't know. I wasn't awake for that. My panties were missing.
Okay, what was that now?
They were missing when I woke up.
So, but you went to bed with them on, right?
I woke up without them still, and I had to look for them.
Well, ma'am, do you remember testifying on direct examination that you had your panties on and that he took your panties off? Do you remember testifying to that?
Yeah, I assumed he took them off.
Well, I'm not asking you to assume anything right now. I'm asking you whether or not you remember that that's what you testified to.
Yes, I remember that.
And as part of that encounter, one of the things that you told us was that he went inside you, right?
Yes.
And he didn't have permission, right?
I guess technically not.
Well, no, not technically. That's what you told us. Do you remember telling us that?
I remember my attorney asking me if
Ma'am, I'm not asking you what your attorney asked you. I don't care about his questions. I care about your answers. My question to you, isn't it true that you responded or told us that he was doing it without your permission and that you didn't like it?
I don't remember that. I don't remember characterizing it that way.
And so you did like it when he went inside you?
Objection, this characterizes testimony. She was asleep.
Overruled.
It wasn't really like or dislike. I was just worried is all.
You say that you're worried. So, my question to you is, if you liked it or didn't like it, did you express any preference either way to Mr. Alexander?
I don't think I did.
Did you forget what you told us that you did after that?
I said his name after that.
And then after that, what did you remember that you told us that you did?
That he, when I said his name and I kind of tried to get out from underneath him, his thrusts quickened, and then after that, we sort of broke apart and he pushed my head under the covers.
Right. So that's the same, we're talking about the same encounter, right?
Yes.
And it was consensual, though, even though you were asleep, wasn't it?
Objection, Your Honor, that mischaracterizes the law.
Overruled. You may answer.
Well, I didn't object to it.
So if you didn't object to it, it meant it was consensual, right?
Objection, Your Honor, mischaracterizes the law. She was asleep.
Approach.
Yeah, so basically, it's by the way, it's great to see you, Mohi, by the way, and yeah, so last night I went down the rabbit hole of links. It was really cool to see, and very good information. I was suspecting.
Rabbit hole of what?
Oh, just a different Epstein theories.
Okay. Okay, me too. Sort of. Not like you do.
Oh, she says, I've been living in that rabbit hole. Yeah, yeah. And I like it because it's good for the videos. I'm going to, of course, do some more Epstein videos. And I did them before all this came out, but now there's even more things to cover, so.
You ought to do a poll of who the people think he's alive or not.
That's a good idea. And, I think that it's extremely good to see many people are interested in this, and so I'm going to continue doing that with the videos. Now, yes, Smokey, I think that is it is crazy with the Guthrie disappearance and the links to the Clintons. I've seen a lot of that online, and there's definitely an association there. And with all the stuff coming out and the Clintons testifying, it would be a hypothetical where it could have something to do with it. But as I said, a lot of the conspiracy theories are coming out to be true, so, very well may be. Of course, I did sleep last night, and I did even sleep in the day, too. Because I've been on a lot of different voyages and quests around the YouTubes in different places. So, and hardly sleeping ever. So I'm sleeping a little bit more now, and now, of course, I was catching up on that. I've been on quite different adventures. It's been nice. I went to the trial chat, and they were glad to see me, and I saw Blessed, and people were like wondering what I've been doing, and I was just like, yeah, I was looking into the Epstein files, and Blessed said she was going to go and look at the files tonight. And I inspired her to do that, because I said myself and other YouTubers are collectively looking at these files and talking about them in videos and chat rooms and stuff. So that was pretty cool. And I've not been there too often, but when I go there, I get a warm welcome. And I've been on my own streams, my own quests. I've been focusing on the most, but it's always nice to see friends. All right. Loki says Trump's supposed to disclose it on July, on anniversary of Roswell. Ah, okay. Whenever he does it, I'll be glad to see the disclosure. Whenever he does it, if it's July or some other time, I will be glad to finally get it confirmed where they say, yeah, we were hiding something. You know, because he definitely has been laid back about the aliens. Oh, about the aliens. He's been, laid back about them, and he has talked about, he's been briefed about these things. So definitely something's there. So I'm glad that in this era we can see all this stuff coming out. And I do think that Epstein's hiding in a foreign country somewhere. In my opinion, it seems to be the case. Because not all countries extradite people back to the U.S. that are criminals, in my opinion. Oh, understood, Moki, understood. And that is... I'm glad that you're getting other things done. Yeah, because there's all kinds of things going on to do. And I always like to hear about the different quests that you're doing. Let's just do this. How about this will work? Let's go here. Alright, that should be better. Anything else I'll close out? I will. Yes, I saw that movie. Absolutely. Where he was in Tel Aviv, it seems to be over there. I think that's where it was located. Hell, that was interesting to see. And it very well may be. He's like disguised somewhere else. Where it just doesn't really add up where he was murdered and all, and the body of the person does not match Epstein's ears and nose. Oh, it sounds like a blast, a fun field day that I'm sure you're looking forward to. And in April, I got a jury summons in April. That'll be interesting to see how that goes. So, if I always will have these streams up, but that will be for me in April. That I discovered. Well, I got in the mail a couple of like a week or so ago. Yeah. Yeah, because there's all these fun. I'm sure that you're just eager to get all those quests done, and you're going to enjoy that as a thing you have in your calendar to enjoy. Yeah. Yes, that will be the jury duty will be in April. Jury duty will be in April. Yes. And that is something that has I've not done that before, but it came in the mail, right? I've not really completely been keeping up with the other cases too much, but I drop in there sometimes. Today I got to see the cats I've not seen in a while. There's a group of cats I've not seen in a while that I will be seeing. And I saw it today, and I moved them around, and they were funny to watch. And it's clean them and move them around and pet them. I'll send you some pictures of them. They're cute cats. I remember where in the files I'm looking at some other part where there's some pictures of some of the victims, but they're redacted, and it's very haunting and very creepy to see that these people were put through that, and not with their families or with friends that cared about them. So looking into his depraved mind is something I have been oh it's oh I remember now. To see what they've been going through, it has been very heartbreaking for everybody, but it's good to see it all being exposed out into light now with the Epstein stuff. Okay, Moki said, every time I've gotten the jury duty, it has been a civil case about a construction defects, and I went through the process. They settled. Okay, understood. Yeah, mine's it seems to be a criminal case. It seems, and we'll see how that goes. Mary Toodles was on one like 2-3 years ago. Now, as I said, I don't know if I'll be on. It's a jury summons, so I don't know if it will happen or not necessarily, but it's a possibility. Another thing about the Epstein is that I need probably tomorrow I'll be doing a stream on the different information that I've acquired with Epstein, and then I will do the Jodi one later. That one. His ear and his nose are different in both pictures. Right, exactly, Mookie. Right. It depends on the circumstances. And so that was something interesting to see. The different ears don't match Epstein, and he could be alive. Yeah, that would make sense where he was able to escape the scene by they were transporting him somewhere else because a police officer that was verified that was there said that it was verified it was him, that he was put in like a wheelchair strapped and he was transported somewhere else, allegedly, around that time. So it definitely doesn't add up with the cameras or the security guards. All just weren't around when he either was deleted himself or was deleted by somebody or disappeared. Like he said, that's a good idea. Right. My views and all of they have been. It, as I said, depends on day by day. I have been getting a good amount of views and interaction likes, but definitely the eclectic streams are something that I don't want to stop doing, and people do miss. I do agree people miss the eclectic streams. And we're not going to do this every single day with the trials. We will do other streams, the eclectic streams too. Again, I think it's a good idea to do. Yeah, and with the Epstein, there's different things to cover. But yeah, the channel, as I said, its views have been like it usually does. It goes, some days more than others. But yes, the eclectic streams, of course, are very missed indeed. And the trial streams we've been doing has been getting subs. Subs have been coming from these, and interactions have happened. But of course, our classic eclectic streams must continue to happen. That's very good too. All right, let's see. Yes, that is true. We do have lots of conspiracy theories to dive into, and I love the links you send because that will be used in the videos. And I do want you to always provide me links because I will use them in content, and I like to review them. It's like 2016 all over again, but with more confirmation. Because in 2016 I did stuff with conspiracy theories, but now there's more confirmation to what we were thinking of before about Epstein, etc. And my video about Epstein is doing good, and I want to continue doing that. I've not also made videos in a while because I've been on different explorations, but I will go do those again too. More. Oh yes, it does seem like we're in the last days. We're getting close to that, I think, and that'll certainly get people to uh, come see that because we do talk about the apocalypse, and I have gotten new people, and we talk about Bible and about the end times and aliens and stuff because that's what we did originally with the channel. That it went through different eras of adding different things to it, but we are, of course, I'm glad we have people also coming in. Like, by the way, Mook, I'm so thankful that you are here and came here to the channel in general. I really think that you've contributed very positively to it, in my opinion. And I like the stuff we talk about with the aliens and stuff, because that's what it originally was about. And I've gotten, Book of Enoch, new people in here that also are interested in the alien stuff like we are. And the Book of Enoch and the news and trials, different things. So that was cool. The Book of Enoch it's very explicit about heaven, about more detail about heaven and aliens, angels and stuff. And I do think the Gnostic Gospels and the different, because there is all kinds of different religions that believed in Jesus in the Middle East and different parts of the Israel and that region, Israel Palestine region, and the old, so call it the old world. There's all these different groups of people that had their own different beliefs about what Jesus was, and there is different theories about God, and there is like another one. There's two different gods. There's all kinds of different theories to get into about that thing. Is interesting. Oh, you're very welcome. And a shout out to Aaron too. And throughout time, there was different people that I knew through, especially through child chat, that were cool. And I remember there was like Princess Dot, and she's sick, but sometimes I'll hear from her, and she'll keep up with me. And there's Capri. There's all kinds of many others too that I'm not too many to name. And then we have you and Aaron as part of this era's generation of aliens. Amen. And staying close to Christ to Jesus is very important. And through his Holy Spirit, he is the Leon, as the foundation, because Christ said you build your house in the rock, you will be, any storm that comes, you'll be okay. Even if other people build their houses on the sand and they just wash away. And also, Moki, I want to let you know that I didn't realize this, but my channel's birthday of my channel was a couple of days ago, and it's the same birthday as Mike's. My channel is born on the same birthday as his, so that was something that I found out a couple of days ago. And my channel is 14 years old. Yeah. And sometimes it's rare, but she'll leave a comment and let me know that she's, are doing all right, and she was thinking about me. And she hasn't been able to see any of the trials, and we'll like exchange messages between each other. But yeah, she was cool people. Yeah, shout out to her. And there's a lot of people that I'll see over there, and Dwayne came in here a few nights ago. No, yesterday Dwayne came in here before you came in here. Him and Sharon were eating out at dinner. Oh, and Moki, it's my pleasure, and I appreciate that. Absolutely. And I always he would listen to the streams in the background. I remember, and about the aliens and stuff. So it's always it's an honor and a privilege to help you. And shout out to Mike. And yeah, Dwayne here yesterday. Sharon wanted him to get off the stream to continue the dinner, and he told me he was addicted to this trial when it came on. And it was nice to have interaction with him. Yeah, Dwayne's a nice man. Yeah, and I've known him for years. When he left the other chat, it was a very somber event for me, but he was still here on my channel to chill with. And he gave me like a message. Like he gave me like a message explaining why he left, and he always appreciated me in the chat. And I remember that was when the other chat started changing, and he was like explaining to me why it happened, why he left, etc. I recently saw Pam and the others. They're always glad to see me, and that was cool. And then, because the other day when I was working on the Epstein video, the whole night I was going through the files. Then the next day I was working on the video. I kind of went through the trial chat, and some people were, because they were telling me, some people were asking about me, so I was like, we're going to go tell them hello over a trial chat. And I was like, okay, hello everybody. And then I went into the video, and I went over to one of the other places to tell some other people hello. Then I got the images to use in the video. Then I recorded myself. Then I put the video together. I did the editing, recording, all that. It was like afternoon. Oh, understood, Moki. So I went all the way into the afternoon to go and get it done. And I got the video out there. And it was very nice to finally have that video out there, because I knew the Epstein files were released. I knew there's new things coming out about it, and I want to go look through it and see what was going on with it, to eventually put out a video about it. Because I knew they've been hiding stuff from us for a very long time, and I'm glad to be finally in an event where we can get that taken care of. And now I was like, okay, like one night I was gathering information throughout a week or so, and then I went into a deep dive into the rabbit hole of files. There was, I saw pictures, but not many pictures. I was looking more into the documents. And it was many hours. Many hours. Then I was like, all right, we got to do a video on this. And the sun was coming up, and I'm like, all right, here we go. And I was gathering all the different parts together. And coming up with the thumbnail took some time. I did the thumbnails, all that stuff first, before I did the video part. Because I did the Epstein videos before, and I chose a completely different theme when it was for this one. We used some different imagery and I used a black and white overlay, and it's cool to see that so many are interested. And with the internet, there's a giant network that, see, internet was originally found by the governments to try to go and connect with people. I think it was a secret operation to like connect the different government facilities, but then they used it for us, and now we're all using it collectively to expose what's going on. Yeah, and finally these conspiracies are coming out, and people are waking up. I remember a few days ago we did the Jodi trial during it was an afternoon. We had a pretty big crowd. And everyone was talking about their take on Jodi. It was pretty cool to see. And we then, later on, Mermaid came and we talked about our real perspective about the trial, and I like seeing people's different takes. And tomorrow I'm going to do the eclectic stream, and then we will get into the rabbit hole of scared. And Jodi and her odd behavior would be for another day. And let's see. Oh, yeah. With the cats, there's different cat groups I have in the back. Family has in the back, and Mary Toodles was doing an excellent job of, because my grandma used to do stuff with the cats. It was her cats, and Mary Toodles has taken over, and does excellent with the cats. There's a group that I will see at certain parts of the day, and I've not gotten around to see them as frequently as I usually would. So I went there today, and I hung out with the cats, and I moved them around. There is Praline, Nermal, and there's E.T., and they're trying to get them integrated with the other group, because there were two cats that are kind of, they like to wrestle around, and we're trying to get them more tamed, and Praline Nermal has done very well being tamed. But E.T. has more taming to do, but he's starting to learn. And I moved this other cat, Tweetzel, to the separate chamber where he could sit on his, I can't think of the word, a chair. And there's the other one, then the kitten, very cute. He has been very vocal, and he likes to see the different cats that come through. He likes to make a lot, huh? Yeah, a Chim Chim cupcake. A Chim Chim cupcake. Yeah, and I saw Chim Chim Cupcake today. He really wants to get he likes to make a lot of noises and chirping sounds. He was having a conversation with E.T., which is a youth cat. A conversation with him today, and then the other one, Normal, was playing with a toy, getting excited, and then I'll kind of divide them in different groups, because sometimes I don't want them to get into a fight with some of the other ones, but they usually get along. But I was, of course, with supervision. And it was nice to get a chance to work on some videos again, and yeah, I'll probably play the pirate game in the beginning tomorrow, and then get into the other stuff. It's been a little while since I've done that, and it's good to mix it up. Let's see. Cold again. All right, and it's still kind of going. Okay. Looking over the garden, it's going pretty well. I like it. We've been having I think one of the spinach has sprouted. That was good to see. and one of the cats at night would like to run around, kind of like a dog. Okay. And one of the cats like to roam around like a dog and jump back and forth. It's funny to see. I've been looking at some UFO videos to review, and yeah, there's quite a bit of odd-looking orbs that have been seen in different sight frames, and people have been extremely diligent in filming their experiences, which I think is good and positive. There's something of the World Series of there's like Olympics going on, so I don't know what. All right, Winter Olympics. Let's see what this is about. I always see it all the time with Google. Okay. Let's see. We get an explanation of the Winter Olympics right here. I'm scared. All right, the Winter Olympics, officially known as Milano Cortina 2026, are currently underway in Italy. The games officially open today, February 6, 2026, and will conclude on February 2022, 2026. All right, this marks the first time the Olympic history that two cities are officially co-hosting an event. The opening ceremony, titled Harmony, was held earlier today at the San Siro Stadium in Milan, and featuring performances by Mariah and Carey. The Andrea Bocelli, while simultaneously simulationist festivals took place in the mountains of Paradiso. Oh, you think that the opening ceremonies were a little bit too artistic? Oh yeah, the France was demonic. Yeah, it was definitely. Yeah, they could get a little bit too extravagant with some of these things. And okay, the upcoming event schedule. All right, Saturday, February 7. The first full day of competition begins tomorrow, February 7, 2026. Several major medal events: alpine skiing, men's downhill, and Stelvio Ski Center. Speed skating, women's 300m medal event, the Millennium Speed Skating Stadium. Oh, I know, Moki, that was extremely wicked of them to do that, to mock Jesus like that. Yeah. What? Oh, it was the French Olympics. And yeah, that was just completely uncalled for. They were always trying to throw like a rotten Easter egg in there to cause a problem. There's also, in that Olympics, there's some satanic imagery in some of the one of the scenes with the kind of like as Lucifer coming down. There was something like that. So it's nice if people can stay away from the weird occultic stuff, and just have a regular show. I mean, religion in general doesn't have much to do with the Olympics. It could have to do with like Greek, Roman mythology, but that's okay. But to try to disassociate with the other Abrahamic religions, or in general, would be cool because it's off topic, and we don't need to have political messages either in there too. It should just be about playing Olympics. Cross country skiing. Right, exactly. Women's 10K km sky thelum medal event. Right. Snowboarding, men's big air finals. Ice hockey, women's primarily include USA and Finland. Curling, mixed doubles round robin, including GBR versus USA. Oh, I agree, Moki. It's suspicious that you can only mock Jesus, that people can go mock Jesus, but not other religious prophets or figures. I agree. Where, all right, I am back now. So, basically, yes, I agree, Moki. It's crazy how you could only mock Jesus and people won't do anything. And if you mocked other prophets or religious figures in other religions, nobody will care, or or try to. No, nobody. People would fight against it. Is what I'm trying to say. Like, people don't mock other religious figures or prophets, but you could go and mock the like Jesus, and everyone seems to get away with it, and people seem to do it openly, and people also target Jesus specifically and not other people in other religions and prophets and stuff. So I do agree that there is a specific attack on Christianity and a lack of defense where people are not uprising against it. Yeah, it's just, it shows you the collapsing West and the foolishness of our time. Oh, you're welcome, Mookie. And good night to you. Thank you for coming. Yeah, but absolutely, it was like with Christianity gets attacked a lot and singled out, where other ones are not being attacked. It's absolutely cringe. Yeah. All right. All right. Read more about the Olympics, and then I'll go. All right, let's see. Host cities: Million, Cortina di Empizzo, Italy. Disciplines: 116 medals, events across 16 disciplines. All right. New ski mountaineering makes its Olympic debut. Mascots: Tina, a white stout for the Olympics, and Milo, a brand stout for the Paralympics. Vilnius. Most ice events, hockey, skating, are Milan, while snow events are spread across Cortina, Valtellina, and Val di Fiemme. All right, and that's about the Winter Olympics. Okay. And at this point, we've reached a stopping point for the night. Let's go over here. Okay, everybody, so at this point in time, this will be all for the stream tonight. Thank you all for coming, hanging out with me, and have a good evening, afternoon, day, and peace.